Hey guys, welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing well this evening. Lots of people already in chat today. I think a lot of people are just as excited as I am to see this build. So do let me know if the sound looks out of sync or anything else like that. Brian's been playing with the settings again, so I do apologise if anything's not looking quite right. But I'm hopeful that everything is going to be okay. In terms of the build tonight, I think a lot of you already know what I'm building. It's going to be the Iron165 FE, and I'm looking this way because it's sat just at the side of me, just off camera here. Really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great build. I'm very excited to have a look at this. For those of you who didn't see, I did post a picture of the board with a couple of my boards on Instagram last night, and suffice to say I got some good feedback off the back of that as well. Just give a few shout outs in chat. I think the Panda got first today, 45 minutes before the stream was due to start, so very well done. Zree's here, Anarchy, Vox as well. Vox was here early, 10 minutes early. Satanicist, Lubed Helios, Functional as well. Rise Zoo, Clockwork, Mr. Wonton. I can't go through everyone, there's too many of you tonight, guys. But it's here, we're doing the stream, we're live. Eclipse as well, saying that he got one of the Iron165s. If you get an Iron165, post in chat and tell me what colour, what specifications you bought, what switches you're going to put in it, and how excited you are to see the board, because I'm excited not just to do this build, but to get mine as well, whenever that turns up. So Marchish next year. Really looking forward to that. Zwee saying, hurry up, Daddy J. I'm here now. We're going. John Warren's here as well. He says hi. Acidic Pure as well. You've got a parcel on the way from me, good sir. I need to PM you actually and get some money out of you for shipping. I'll do that after the stream. Nice Kipura Flex. What you can't see, there's probably another 20 or so in this tub here. I don't know if you can see those, but there's another couple of rows in there as well. I do like my Kipuras. Kipuras are good. One of my favourite artisans. Vox Key with the 165 bits as well. Thank you very much for that. Really appreciate those bits, dude. Mechaniski's here. Leandron himself. Welcome, sir. We've got Anomi as well. Saying iron, yeah. Sorry, I have got a bit of a cough still, guys. I know I was ill a couple of weeks ago. I'm still trying to get over that cough, so I do apologise. I feel fine, just a little bit of a tickly cough. Spade Likes Keeb's got a black FE with his own dumb Franken switches. No, Franken switches are dumb. If you like them, man. If you like them, you go for them. That's perfect. I'll be building my white FE, which is the same as what I'm going to be building today, but my personal one, when that arrives, with a carbon fibre plate, and I'm not quite sure on switches yet. We'll see how that goes. Ashley got them all. Yeah, you get everything, man. You get everything. Satanicist, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. That's now 7 months. Thank you very much, good sir. A good friend of mine, so thank you very much for that. Bot's pinged. Wow, bot was quick. Bot was quick. Wow. Yeah, it was really quick. Holy crap. It's not usually that fast. Max F, you got a plum with silver badge and GMK Firefly. That's a good combo. For anyone that is interested in seeing what the plum colour might look like, you can take a look at the Anzi build stream that I did as well. I think that gives you probably a bit of a sense of how it might go with sets like Olivia and a few other things as well. It's not quite the same colour, but it's very similar. Ashley subscribed at tier 1. Thank you very much, dude. 6 months, currently on a 6-month streak. He says Baron benches £700. No joke. That's pretty impressive. Querdenker and LBI base are here as well. So thank you very much for joining, guys. ISO Warrior Rise Up. Yeah, my board will be ISO. This one today isn't going to be. This one's going to be ANSI. So yeah, we'll get there. Voxkey, thanking everyone for showing up. Yeah, guys, it's nice to have you here. About 100 viewers, I think, at the minute is what Twitch is telling me, but it's not known to be right all the time. So we'll see how that goes. Metallic Charles as well. Good afternoon, good sir. Voxkey says he'll go with Pacos and Tacos on my next few builds. Nice. Audio's quiet for you. It should be okay. It should be fine. Actually, the mixer's not telling me how loud it is. I'm assuming you guys can hear me just okay. Let me bring the mic a little bit closer. I can't turn it up anymore, but the mixer isn't working, so it's not telling me how much. Let me just check that it's using the right source. Okay, let me know if that's better, guys. Is that good? Is that better? How's that doing? Let me know for that. I'm still catching up with chat, so I'll carry on talking. I hope you can still hear me. Now you're getting to that. Okay. How about that, guys? Is that a little bit better? Just drop it down a little bit more. Okay, barely creeping into the yellow now. Echo. How about now, guys? Is it still an echo? Is it still an echo? No, I didn't turn the stream on. In the background. I think still echo. How's that done, guys? Has that fixed the echo? Has that fixed it? Nice. Yes, nice. Okay, cool. Clap test. Let's see how we're doing on sound. Let me know if that's out or not. Brian has been changing the settings as he always does, so if that's out, let me know. I can fix that. Right, okay. Spot on. Sounds good. On point. Ideal. Yes. Great clap. Too low, though. All fine. Right, okay. Everyone's saying it's good. Right, let me catch up with chat, guys, because I'm a bit further back. Eskimo Joe, tier 1 sub. Thank you very much. 7 months sub saying, evening, fellas. Yes, good evening, ladies, gentlemen, children, cats, dogs, whoever else is watching. Glad to see you. Eskimo just says Baron is hella ripped. Yes, can confirm. Met him in Seattle. He is hella ripped. I thought he was going to rip my arm off, but then he's just soft like a pussycat in real life. ISO returns as well. Subscribed at tier 1. Good to catch the stream again, saying he's been here for 11 months. Thank you very much, Mr. Returns. Glad to see it. The Necros are here as well. MyKeyboard.eu is the sponsor for this stream, as well as Smith and Rune, who provided the board. So thank you very much to Necro Woman for joining. I can't wait to see you next Friday for the UK meetup, or Saturday, sorry, for the UK meetup. Polyzoo as well, subscribed for 11 months. Currently on a 1 month streak. It says, nice to catch an afternoon stream. Good, man. Glad. Audio's not too bad. Oh yeah, this is where we've got the audio stuff, the echo, blah blah blah. Okay, cool. I think we've fixed that now. I'm pretty sure we've fixed that. Okay. Chat is scrolling just as fast as during a gaming tournament. Yeah, chat went mental there. Jay Shuff, thank you very much for the 5 tier 1 gift subs, dude. Appreciate the support more than I can ever say. Baron was one of the lucky ones, who's one of the guys behind Smith and Rune and the Iron board. So very, very well done. Thanks, guys. Clockworking. I'm not going to clap 50 more times. Sorry. Skewed tier 2 sub for 8 months. Thank you very much, dude. Love a tier 2 sub. Thank you for the support. And George69 as well subscribed for 5 months and says, oh whoa, nice. Yeah, afternoon. It's 9 p.m. where Extra is. It's 8 p.m. here, or just gone 10 past. So yeah, glad you guys are all on board and raring to go, no matter what time zone you're in. I think we should probably start to take a look at some stuff now. The bot's pinged. You guys are here. Everyone's been active in chat. If you guys have got any questions, please do feel free to ping in chat, and we'll go from there. Let me know what you guys are thinking, what you guys want to know, what you think I want to know, what you think I think, all that kind of stuff. Any questions you've got, whether it's this keyboard or just keyboard in general related, please let me know. Okay, so first thing, we are going to be building with ink switches today. So Baron provided these for me. These are lubed already with 205 grade 0 and 104 on the springs. I didn't lube these. These are not something that I've lubed, so they came like this. So bear that in mind when we listen to the sound test, if they sound overlubed or underlubed. Just going to put the disclaimer out there now and be slopey shouldered. Wasn't me that did it. They do feel pretty much okay, quite thickly lubed. It's not an accurate sound test in here because it's rattling inside this case, but yeah, we'll see how those go. The next thing I want to show you guys is the PCB. So this is one of the prototype PCBs. I don't know if they're going to be red actually. This is one of the questions I have for Baron and Vox who are in chat. Are they going to be red in production, or are they going to stay? Are they going to stay a different colour, or how's that going to be? But this is the prototype. As you can see, Canon keys. It even says designed by UPass there for Smith & Rune in August 2019. Quite a nice little bit of text. The Canon keys logo here as well. Nice red colour. As you can see, it supports ANSI, ISO, backspace, split backspace. Only supports split left shift because it's 65. Can't do anything else on these boards. Nothing in the top corner, no fancy cutout though. I did wonder if it'd have a cutout here on the PCB like some other boards do, but just a blank space because of course there's that lovely badge there when we look at the board. In terms of the bottom of the board here, UPass did tell me yesterday that this will support 6.25U and 7U spaces, but only 7U will work on this particular prototype because there isn't the 6.25U stab positions here either. So that's how we're going to build it, 7U. From there, you can also split left shift as well if needed, so you can have ISO or ANSI layouts, and of course you can have stepped or full caps lock. And we'll have a look at the plate in terms of how the build's going to go from there. So there you go, guys. That's the PCB. Flipping it over on the underside, just the standard pins, diodes, controllers, everything else. There is the JST connector just in this top corner, which has been glued on. So excuse the marks around there. Is a prototype PCB. And also it's got the Iron165 prototype. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to zoom in enough on that, but prototype, there you go, revision 0.1. So this is a really early PCB. Okay, so let's just catch up with chat before we look at the board itself, because I'm really excited to show you guys that. Gouty says, Top Clack, what's your perfect date? February 2nd. Himps says, any packages set to arrive for Christmas? Not keyboard related at the minute. I haven't actually ordered anything for my wife yet, but I probably should soon. She's big into handbags, so maybe that's where I need to look and see if I can find her a handbag that she likes. In terms of Christmas packages for myself, yeah, I never have a chance to buy myself anything, and I've usually got too much keyboard stuff or car stuff coming. Polizoo says, is there somewhere you can purchase those plastic rows that are holding the switches? No, so these actually came from drops. So when you can buy switches from Drop, sometimes they come in these little plastic bits, and you can just clip switches into them. I personally don't like them. It's a personal thing. I find them fiddly and horrible and not very well thought out, but a lot of people like them. So if you're one of those people, if you buy something from Drop, you'll be able to get them from there. But I suspect you can probably pick up something similar from most hardware stores. Black, people are saying it's going to be black, and they'll be black with the Rune logo. Nice. PCBs will be black with our Rune logo in the center. Nice. Okay, so you go, guys, you heard it here. Black PCBs. Is that the Kepler in the background? No, this is a Jur J80, so they did the Jur Mini as well, but this is a J80, otherwise known as the A06 TKL that's PCB mounted. Probably one of my favourite TKL boards I own. In fact, it is. It's by far the best TKL I own. You bought the exact same screwdriver? Cool, yeah, I've got a couple of these, yeah. This was the one with the bigger set, so it's got bits on both sides. It's an Arborforce. No, it's the J80, yeah. J80 or JT. I use a trace to hold switches sleeve. That's fine. I use a full-on switch holder to hold my switches. Right, okay, guys. So we've talked a bit about the switches. I've shown you the PCB. I guess now it's time to show you the board, right? That's what you guys are here to see. You want to see the board. You want to see all its coppery goodness. You want to see me take it apart and hopefully not damage it in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to rip the plaster off quick. This is the board. There you go. This is the hefty board that is the Iron165. So here you can see the copper plate. You can see the copper badge. This is E-white finish. The plate we'll talk about in a bit when we take it around, take it out of the board. Inside, Baron has just put some foam filler. I'm probably going to take that out for the sound test, just see what it sounds like without it. If we need to, we can put it back in and compare, and you guys can get a bit of a feel. But it's just some soft foam stuff, so we'll take a look at that as well. In terms of looking at the rest of it, you will see that it's a seamless design, so on the sides, completely crystal clear. There is no seam at all in terms of the design. You've got the same on the front, and the same on the other side as well. On the back, it's a little bit different. So when you look at the back, you can see that we've got a centre mount USB, and you can also start to see this lovely copper base starting to show through. So very reminiscent of some of the Rama boards and other designs that we've seen quite recently, but much more angular, much more refined, a very sharp line that just shows it through there very nicely indeed. Okay, taking a look at the base of the board, you can see that it's just one solid lump of copper. Excuse the fingerprints. Sadly, holding this around and moving it around, it's quite hard to do. As you can see, it's got the Iron165 FE 165 logo on there. Solid copper base. This thing is so heavy. This is really heavy. I can't express how heavy this is to you guys. But there you go. That's what the base looks like. 8 screws, 4 corners, and then 4 centralized ones, all looking rather good. And how nice is that copper, guys? Really, really, really good. Just in terms of the top as well, the last thing I want to show you is the badge. So for some reason this badge has lost the clear coat, or it's been damaged or something like that. But as you can see, there is the Smith & Rune logo. That patination won't happen on the production ones. It'll look exactly like the plate does here. This is just something that's happened in shipping. So there you go. Lovely little badge. Great machine work as well. Very tightly fitted. Looks really, really great. I can't remember exactly how much this weighs, but it is really heavy. I can see a lot of people asking that question. Let's catch up with chat before we take this apart and start to look inside on the board. Poker Power Turtle says, I think this guy needs some water. No, I'm just ill. I'm just recovering from a cold, so I've got a bit of a cough and a chesty throat and all that kind of stuff. I feel fine. I'm okay myself. I feel better. It's just now getting rid of the cough. I do have some water here if I need it, so I apologise if my voice is getting to you or grating on you. I for this Ducky 1-2 mini, yeah. Leave your mark. Yeah, I'm not going to mark it. What about the hard case, which should come with the iron? Yeah, I don't have that for the prototype, but that is going to come with the iron, so I'm sure once those are available, Vox and Baron will show some of those. There's the money shot. Thanks, Finn. So sad I missed the FE. Yeah, I'm really glad I got in on the FE. Why do only some of the switches have flex cuts? So one of the things you'll see when we look at the PCB is that the plate, there's actually cutouts around the edges of where the mount points are and a few other areas as well. So what Baron and Vox have done as part of Smith & Rune is they've actually gone around and analysed the plate to see where flex cuts should be, where acoustic cuts need to be made, and tried to get consistency across the board. And this is what the science has told them, that in terms of where the switches are placed, you've got different sized cutouts. You've got some in some other places and some in not others as well. So if you read the interest checkup on Geek Hack, there's a bit of an explanation around how they got to these decisions, how they made them, where the flex cuts are, where the sound cuts are, and why they need to be there as well. Well worth a good read through if you want to check that out. The badge looks dirty. The badge is just patinated, so this is all clear coated copper, so I can touch it and put my fingerprints on it. It's not going to mark. For some reason, just in transit, the clear coat has been rubbed off this. It won't happen in the production models. It will be just as nice as this copper that you see here. Beord, I'm going to suggest subscribe with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much, dude. I love a free Twitch Prime sub, so thank you very much for sharing that with us. Scroll to optimized plate. Yes, optimized plate and plate optimization is what you want to check out. Looking real nice. It looks great. Yeah, I'm really, really excited to build this. You can express how heavy it is with numbers. I don't know the exact weight, but it must be £8 plus. Just feeling the weight of it. I'm sure Vox and guys can share that in chat. I hope you feel better. Thanks, man. Thanks. I actually feel fine. It's just getting rid of this tickly cough. Just getting rid of the tickly cough. Moridin's here in chat as well. Nice. Good to see Moridin. Bordan as well, subscribe with Twitch Prime on for 4 months now. Thank you very much, dude. Really appreciate the subs. what do you do to get rid of the fingerprints? So on this one, we could either sandblast it, or we could get some acetone and clear it up. There's multiple different ways. You can use lemon juice or some mild acid, and that will clean it up nicely, and then you can just clear coat over the top again. As I say, on production ones, that won't happen. The other option you've got as well is you could just let it patinate, because patinated metal looks quite good once it gets there over time. Such a clean board. It's lovely and clean. Yeah, it's really nice. Muffin, thank you very much for Twitch Prime sub. Love a Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much for that. Are the cutouts the same on the POM board? I'm not sure actually. I imagine they will be the same in all of the different materials. I've actually got a carbon fibre one coming from my board, and that has got the same cutouts as well. So we'll see how that goes in due course as well. I think I'll have a few of these builds next year. GMK Cafe is the one for this colourway. Cafe would look great. Olivia would look great on this board. Nines would look great on this board. I think you can't really go wrong with it. Bingsu, if you've got the plum version, looks like a great combination. Bingsu would also go really well with the white. We're not using that today either. We're actually using a set that's for Vox Key that was bought by Asley for him. So Vox, the key set we're going to use today, this will be shipped with the board back, so you'll get this and that's yours to keep. So thank you very much for arranging that, Asley. Flexman gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you very much, dude. So Odin, the Matt Retired, John O'Warren and TRG, congratulations on some free gift subs. Thank you very much, guys. Which is the best clicky switch in your opinion? I would go for box navies or box jades, depending on what weight I wanted. Okay. Lockardi says you can use ketchup or vinegar to clean patina on copper as well. Yeah, again, just mild acidic, that's all you need, just something mild and acidic. And toothpaste also works really, really well, not because it's acidic, but because it's got a slight grain to it, and that's how it polishes your teeth and cleans your teeth. So toothpaste works great as well. Pip would look great. Bingsu, Bingsu is a key set that's been run by Project Keyboard. Go check it out, Gouty. Go check it out. Too many colourways to keep up. There is, yes. Okay, GMK Black Lotus would look so nice on plum too. It would. Olivia actually looks nice on plum as well. So I have the Anzine, a very similar plum colour, and putting GMK Olivia or DMG on that looks really, really nice as well. So that's another option. Visually speaking, those flex cuts look random ASF. Yeah, but if you look at the math and the numbers behind it, you know, Vox and Baron, they've done their homework. They know that this is where they want them to be. They're still experimenting even now, and there might be some changes that they can make to the plates before they're produced for the production run. But it's all, you know, something that's been investigated and understood. And whether it's random or not, this is what the math shows and science shows. So, you know. I suspect that the cutouts up here are probably because you've got some larger keys in this area. Usually, you'd have the 2U backspace, you know, and you'd have the large enter key. Sometimes you have a shift key over here that's larger. So I suspect it's all due to different positions and different switches and all of that kind of stuff as well. So there we go. I'm just going to take a quick mouthful of my drink here, guys. Doc's last question before we start to take the board apart says, what would be a good linear for this? So I think there's two ways you can go with linears. Functional, this stream was sponsored by Coca-Cola. It's not. It's actually a funny story, and Doc, I will get back to your question. I only ever drink Coke while I'm streaming. I usually have a can during build streams and also during the actual main show, because the main show is at like 2 AM. But when someone mentioned that to me once before, so I actually emailed Coca-Cola and said, would they sponsor me? Oh, we've got Doggo on stream. Oh, did she? Okay. I'll get the Doggo on stream in a second. But Coca-Cola turned me down, sadly. Oh, no, the dog's gone. The dog's left. No Doggo on stream. She's gone. She decided to go. Yeah, and Coca-Cola just point blank turned me down. They just said no. So there we go. I tried. So Doc, back to your question. In terms of linears, there's a couple of different ways you can go with the linear switches. You can either go bang for buck, or you can go for top end experience, in my view. If you're going to go for excuse me, excuse me. If you're going to go for bang for buck, the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to get some Gateron linears, some standard Gateron yellows, blacks, doesn't matter, with milky tops, and then pick the weight that's right for you, or go for a spring swap. So you pick a switch that's 15 cents per switch, add some springs which are roughly 10 cents per switch, you've got a great switch, add some lube, you've got an even better switch, and it's probably the cheapest bang for buck switch you can get on the market. Black bases, milky tops, doesn't matter the colour of stem, just pick the weight that you like, put a new spring in there, definitely add some lube, job's good. If you want to go all out and you want something really, really nice, there's 2 top end picks for me. The first top end pick is Inks, which is what we're using today. These are great out of the box, roughly 75% to something a piece, I think now. Often in group buy, often being run through novel keys. You can pick them up quite often. And Inks are a really, really solid switch. So that's these ones here. I think if you want the absolute smoothest new switch, then I would recommend Telios. Telios are probably the most expensive switch, like $1.10 or something like that now, but they probably are a tiny bit smoother, but you're paying for such a tiny increment, I don't think it's worth it. So I use Inks a lot because I think they're great mid-ground, but if you want to go really, really high-end, I would suggest Telios with a bit of lube on them. And if you want bang for buck, there's nothing wrong with good old Gatorons, because I use them quite a lot as well. Switch to Pepsi, yeah. Said by the doggy, yeah. The dog's cute. She's gone now though. I think what to do you better. Yeah, I'm just exhausted, so I need the sugar at the minute. That's the thing. Black bottom, milky tops on keyboard fans. There you go. Yeah. Don't currently have the switch leaves problem. So, Aidan, a couple of people have mentioned that to me, but I've not experienced it. I've probably used maybe 1,000 Inks in builds. I've not had any loose switch sleeves, so I didn't lube these ones particularly myself, so I can't say whether these ones have it or not. As I say, these came pre-lubed, but yeah, I've not experienced that personally yet. So until I do, I can't comment on it, I'm afraid. Vintage Inks, Vintage Inks. So best disregarding price, you said Milky Tops, and what was the other one? So cheapest bang for buck, Gatorons with black bases at Milky Tops. Do a spring swap if you like. Doesn't matter which stem colour you buy. Mid-ground Inks, and just add lube. The springs are pretty good in those as well. Top end is Telios. They're probably the smoothest switch out there as well. Honourable mention creams or Nolives, depending on what you want to do. The POM switches that Novel Keys did, also really, really good. Okay, LBO says, I'm building a board with red inks right now, very loose leaves. So I have some red inks, but I haven't tried those actually. I've got a bag of them somewhere. Yeah, I've got a bag of them. I haven't used these yet. These are for another build when I finally get around to it. So I'll check that out on those ones and see how I get on. Wooden tank inks have been bad, so when I order them I just get 10% more than I need, and it seems to work out just fine. That makes sense, yeah. Vint Blacks, Gouty. So I think that Vint Blacks are overpriced. They're not worth the money. They can be really, really great. I've actually got Vint Blacks in here, but I just don't think that they're worth the money or the time and investment you need to put in. You need to get, double what you need, 200% of what you actually need to make sure you can cherry pick and get a nice smooth switch. I think it's just easier to go with the new stuff. Vint Blacks, especially new old stock Vint Blacks that have never been used. You're buying Vints, sorry, because you want them used, you want them heavily used and pressed. So yeah. Pona's here as well. Good evening, Pona. Good to see you, my dude. He says creams as well. Yeah, creams are pretty good. I've got them in my Noxry 268 AG. They're pretty good, but they're quite loud. Okay. They can be quite expensive, Gouty, yeah, about 75 cents per piece. At the minute it seems to be the going price. Okay. I have Telios V2 currently, loving the linear feel. What would you suggest next? Do you want to stay with linears, or do you want to try something else? I'd recommend trying out Inks either way. If you want to try something tactile, I'd try the Zelios V2, or you could also try some of the T1 switches that are around quite often now as well. Rope's here as well. Good evening, Rope. Glad to see you, my dude. Box navies to personally not be my wife. Yeah, that's a good option. What does a UK ANSI layout look like? I don't have a board that's UK ANSI here, but effectively it doesn't look any different. All you do is you just repurpose the keys and reprogram the keys and just use it as ANSI, but reprogram them. So 2 becomes 2 apostrophe instead of 2 at. A 3 becomes 3 and the pound sign instead of the British GBP pound sign, the currency sign, rather than the actual pound hash sign. So yeah, you just do that way. and you can sometimes have split left shift. Yeah, ISO is very different. Okay, I hope the new Aqua Xylants are going to be good. Yep, they'll be the same as the other Xylants, which is the same as the Helios, I would imagine. Yeah, it'll be fine. Does anyone know when my keyboard sends out 9009? When it's finished production? As far as I know, it's not actually in production just yet, so it all depends on GMK. Excuse me. I got some inks, but a few are scratchy, no matter how much lube I put on, which kills it. Just don't have a bad switch. Yeah, it could be a bent leaf or something like that, or you might have some grit in there or something. Yeah. We'll be going to ISO ANSI for this. So this is actually for Baron, so this one will be built ANSI. This plate is fixed to his layout. We will be giving him stepped caps, whether he likes it or not, because stepped is best. But other than that, there's not much else I can change on this. It is, well, there is nothing else I can change. It's fixed ANSI, so that's how it will be built. The only thing is he's got split backspace, not full backspace. So that's the only difference to standard ANSI. Okay, last couple of questions, and then we'll go straight for the build. I just use ANSI and use English UK on Windows. Yeah, that's a weird way of doing it. That confused the hell out of me. Abdallah, are all those personal boards in the back, and aren't you afraid of dust? Yes, these are all my personal boards. Well, not all of them, some of them. Not afraid of dust in the slightest, because I just use compressed air and blow them all out every week or two, and never had a problem with them at all. And I'll be honest, I don't use most of them. I just have too many to use them all on a rotational basis. Jay, you'll be posting this build stream on YouTube, right? My eyes are betraying me right now. Yeah, Trashy Waffles, don't worry. This will be posted on the Top Clack YouTube channel, and it should be up in the next 12 hours or so. Just send Baron a brick and keep it for yourself. Yeah, I have got this exact board coming in this specification, but I'll be using a carbon fibre plate for mine. Mine will obviously be ISO, but yeah, I could do. Keyboards look nice, thank you, dude. I did not like the clear housing of the T1, but I did like the milky housing sound-wise. Where do ink fit in sound-wise? So inks actually sound really good, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys saw the JO2 build stream that I did a couple of weeks ago, but that's quite possibly the best sounding board I've ever had, and those switches weren't even lubed. They were completely unlubed. They were completely stock. That's on a carbon fibre plate in a completely isolated mount system. So this might be very different, so we'll see how we get there. Try hard, Arthur. Not played Fortnite in over a year, so couldn't tell you. Okay, right, so it's time to take the board apart and start to take a look at the inside, talk through that, and then we'll crack on with the build. So first thing I'm going to do is flip the board over and then work out which Allen key sizes I need. Something tells me that my screwdriver is not going to fit in these holes, so yeah, so I'm not going to be able to use a screwdriver, so I will need to use the Allen key. Or hex key as you guys call them in the US. I think this is the size we need. Nope, one smaller. Come on, go back in. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to undo all of these now. Pop them to one side. I'll try and keep it with chat. That B is nice. This is why you need an Nanch set. Maybe, yeah, maybe. Caffeine shake noted. Thanks, man. Thanks. I do need the caffeine. Yeah, my screwdriver set would get in here, but it wouldn't get in the long ones. Gosh, that's tight. I hope none of these top ones are that tight, because I'll struggle to get them undone. What's my favourite board? Self-promotion, but the JO2 is my favourite board. Why don't I like putting stabs on Alps boards? I don't think they need it. I think Alp stabs are probably the worst design stabs you can get. And I think they only need it for anything greater than 2U, so I literally only use it on spacebar. I don't use it on any 2U key. Satanic is, gosh, that's tight. There's a soundbite for you. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if someone's clipped that. JO1 remembers that. Yeah, JO1's my favourite board for the layout quirk, but the JO2, well, it's in IC. I've got to promote it, and it does sound great. The difference between the JO1 and JO2 is I prefer the layout of the JO1 because it's the layout that I wanted, but the JO2 does sound better. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but ink housing is basically clear housing with a colour, and milky housing are more like regular non-clear housing. Yeah, these are kind of like a smoked colour, or almost like a smoked grey or smoked red. The milky tops, in fact I can show you some milky top gauge ones. These are milky top Gator on blacks, and bang for buck, you can't beat these switches. That's a milky top, black base, that's what you're looking for, guys. Okay, where did we get to? I quite like Alp stabs. What I don't like about them, I just find them rattly. They're pain to lube. They need lubing a lot more often than they should. Gosh, that's tight as well. Build stream was almost over there, guys, if I couldn't get that done. Miss Petrov's here. He says late, but hello, friends. He always arrives last. Gosh, really tight. I don't know if you guys can hear them squeaking as I'm undoing them because they're that tight. I'm not sure if that was factory done or if that's Baron just with his incredible strength doing it. Okay, just make sure that these are all fully undone before I try and lift the base off. That one was intentional, Satanicus. That one was intentional. I was going to say something else, but I changed it to arriving last, right at the last second. Okay, I think that's going to be okay now because I can see that the gasket pressure has been released because the base is lifted out of the top piece. Just making sure these are fully undone before I try and lift it off. They all feel like they are. Okay, that's a good tip, LBR base. Don't over tighten. Yeah, well, I was undoing there, not tightening Gouty, but yes, you are spot on. Okay, I think that's all the screws out. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 7. One more here, just not quite coming out. There we go. 8. All screws out. Okay, I'm going to place that down. Move these out of the way. We're going to lift off the top. Okay, so let's talk about the top first. So as you can see, guys, it's got the pour-on strips embedded into the case here, all the way around. So 3 across the top, 3 across the base, 1 on either side. They're fully embedded in there. They're looking pretty good, pretty neat and tidy. It looks like they're cut from one long strip and the grooves are machined into the case ready for it. That's all looking rather nice. Plate mount points, well, base mount points, not plate really, but base mount points, you can see are just raised slightly off there. Badge is held in by 2 screws, so we'll take the badge out and we'll have a look at that later on. Top itself, quite weighty, quite hefty. In terms of the base, gosh, this is heavy, it's going to be hard to lift up now. We've got the plate, which just rests on there nicely. So as you can see, as I was talking about before, guys, the flex cuts aren't limited to just here in between switches. They're actually also around a lot of the edges of the board, which means you've got much more flexibility. So I'm not sure how well that's going to show up on screen, but there is some flex in the copper there. In fact, I don't know how you can see that at all, but you might be able to see that bottom piece is lifting. There is a difference. I can feel it even if you can't see it. Congrats on the rugby J. Let's not speak more about it. Okay, fine. Gouty says wasn't talking to you as a reminder to everyone. Don't have to. Oh, gee, thanks. Where's your magnet pad? I don't know where it is. I lost it when I was redoing the office, Geo. So I don't know, but I'm not going to lose them. They're all there. Pixel Hero subscribed at tier 1. Subscribed for 9 months. Thank you very much, dude. Appreciate that. Jay's too cool for that, Geo. Gaskets are hand cut on the proto. Production models will have the gaskets precision cut to fit. Nice. That's good touch. Yeah, there's lots of intricate boards out there now, Cathy. Lots of intricate boards out. So as you can see, there you go. That's the plate, guys. If you've got any questions, I'm sure VoxKey will be happy to help out. Flip it over. There you go. You can see it's the same for both sides. This is clear coated and sandblasted copper. Not sure how well you guys can see it, probably not at all, but my VEA is a copper board just on the wall here, but it's very much a shiny copper rather than this matte copper, which looks really, really nice. Reminder as well, top corner is blocked out because that's where the badge goes, so there we go. Pop that to one side. In terms of the base as well, Vox has cut this foam for it, so I'll just show you that. Here we'll probably not put this in for the build, and I'll probably actually replace this with some better stuff that Satanic has provided me, but yeah, it looks very similar. It's very flexible foam. I don't think that it'll be needed. I think the board will be just fine without it. And then you can see here, guys, that it's got the standard AIO3 style daughter board breakout that's fully connected via cable, so you can run the cable down through this channel and then out and into the PCB using the JST connector. So that just plugs into here. So that'll be the last thing that we do before we plug all the board together. Show you the base. And you can see here that the second side of the pour-on is all fitted here, and these will all be machine cut to size as well. There we go, guys. Solid copper on the inside. As you've seen before from the outside, guys, we had that ledge. You can see that that ledge is much more pronounced here. It's much easier to see, and of course the white side sits all the way down past here as well. It comes over the top of this and sits flush with the base. There we go, guys. That's the base. That's a one hefty piece of metal. I'm just going to pop that there. Let's catch up with chat just for a minute. And then we'll carry on with the build. I like the gaskets are attached to the board, not the plate. Yep, it's good. I wonder how stupid a pump plate would be flex-wise. I think that's being tested right now, so I'm sure Vox can offer some opinions on that. Plate is a piece of art. Yeah, the plate's great. Looks so nice. It looks fantastic. Yeah. How is copper compared to brass? Copper's slightly heavier, slightly thockier than clackier sound in my opinion. I prefer copper to brass, but the differences are very, very minute. What the point of the flex cuts on the plate material? It's not like you're going to punch it to actually flex it. No, but just minimal flex. Even though you can't necessarily notice it with your fingers, subconsciously you'll feel more consistency across the board, and it means that it doesn't matter whether you type in here or in the middle, you'll feel the similar amount of flex. That's the idea that the guys have been going behind it. That all of the keys, irrespective of their size, feel pretty much the same. So yeah, that's the idea behind it. That's one hefty base. Yeah, the base is ridiculously heavy. Really, really heavy. Okay, talking through it, isn't the whole point of a brass plate to be stiff? Yes and no. It's more about being consistent, because aluminium plates and universal plates aren't very consistent, but if you have a plate like this where it's designed specifically for one layout, you can get much more consistency out of it. Walker subscribed at tier 1 for 3 months on a 3-month streak. Iron looks sexy. No, you, good sir. Okay. Some extra thought to include the cable route. Yeah, so I think a few boards have done this. So I've seen it definitely on the keycut boards. I think Zondat's doing it on some of his new stuff. I've always eschewed it from it and just had a short cable here. So just had something this sort of length where you can plug it in here and then just flip it over. That's how the JO2 works, for example. So yeah. Okay, so I think we've caught up with chat. So I think now then the next step is to move the top out of the way. We'll leave the base where it is because it's too heavy to move. And then what we're going to do is start to put the board together. There we go. So first things first, we'll need to clip and lube the stabilizers. And before I do that, I'm just going to line everything up, make sure everything looks good from this perspective, so you can see where the stabilizers are going to go, making sure that all lines up, make sure all the switch points line up. You can see switch points at every position, and everything looks okay from that perspective. The stabilizers that Baron has sent are GMK screw-in stabilizers. These are the new ones. These are not the original mold ones that are preferred by the community. So these ones are the retooled stabilizers. so they will need clipping and lubing. The way you can tell that they're retooled stabilizers is that this mark up here on the very front, if I can show you that, if that's going to focus, you might be able to see there's a little dot just there right on the tip. Might not focus if I get too close, but there's a little dot right up there on the very tip. If that's visible and it's really clear, they're new stabilizers, and you can also feel on the side of the housing that they're quite rough. They've got a rougher texture to them. That's how you can tell the difference. I'm just going to break these down really quickly, then we'll quickly clip them, then we'll lube them, and then we'll put them in the board. So just 3 stabilizers required for this build. We've got the ANSI enter, we've got the left shift, and we've also got the space bar as well. Okay, let's move that out of the way. So the first thing we're going to do is clip the stabilizers. So the inserts that go inside the stabilizer, which is where the housing goes, you'll see that there's 4 legs on the base. What we're going to do is we're just going to clip the 2 thinnest of these legs, so that's this leg here and this leg here. We're just going to clip those completely off and leave it nice and flush on the bottom. If I hold it like that, you'll see that the base isn't exactly flush, there's parts standing off of it, so we're just going to make sure it's nice and flush. Clip 1 and clip 2, and there you go. You can see now that that base is nice and flush, and that's going to rest nicely inside that. So that's all we need to do. Just going to replicate that across the rest of these inserts. Why use extra board PCB and why not write directly onto the PCB? It allows you more flexibility to do it this way, because you can actually put the USB where you like. You can have it lower to the base, and more importantly, for me on my boards, what I make sure that happens is the part where this screws in is actually flat, so that when the cable comes out of the board, it comes out flush with the desk. Most boards will have the cable angled upwards because it comes out of the back of the PCB, depending on what angle your board is at. If I showed you a 60% PCB, I can explain this a little bit easier. So if I show you a 60% PCB, you can see that the USB is there, it's attached to the board. So that means that if the board is, and I'm going to show you from this, if this is the desk and your board is flat, the cable comes out nice and flat. If the board's got a 7-degree angle, well, it's not flush with your desk anymore. Instead of being flush with your desk, it actually comes out at that angle. So it's nicer to have the cable flat and straight, because it just looks nicer on the board. And it's easy to work with and easy to maneuver, but if you have it on the PCB, you've got it at an angle, and you're always going to be higher up from the back of the board as well. You can't bring it closer to the base. So if you take it away onto a daughter board, it brings it closer to the base, and you can have it as flat or as an angle as you like. Okay. Oh, this is the FE. Yes, this is the FE iron that we're building here, just clipping the stabilizers for it. Did you check out the Everglide stabs? Look promising. I've got some on the way. I haven't got any of them just yet. That files the bottom of the PCB mount stabs. Yeah, I think you are. You don't need to file them if you clip them in the right way. As you can see, these are completely flush on the bottom. Not got any of those raised parts, if it focuses. There you go. Okay, last one. Sometimes the plastic bits that aren't fully flush with with stabs, I'll do extra clips and pull away an extra material. Yeah, it's same. If I catch anything or miss something slightly, I'll do that. The bottom of the slider, after you clip them, one leg is still lower than the rest, so I just go over the memory board. No, so let me, I've clipped them all now, but if you look here, you will see that I don't actually cut it flush. I actually cut it, that last one, at an angle. Try and show you that. Can't really show it now, but what I do is I don't cut it vertically. I actually cut it at an angle like that and take the bottom off, so the base is completely flush. So yeah, another little tip for you there. You assume all isolation mounts will have some ambiguity with precise alignment. Yes and no. There will be a little bit of movement, but broadly speaking, probably not. You're not going to notice anyway, and it should be easy to adjust either way, so I think you'll be more than fine with that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to pop the stabilizers into the PCB, and then we'll lube them. I am going to cheat and use my new lube method just because it's faster. We're an hour into the stream and I haven't even done these yet, but it does seem to work really well, and it's easy to tune them afterward, and it seems to work better for the new style stabs than it does for the old ones as well. So we'll get these in and then we'll do that. Yeah, clip parallelish to the legs. Yeah, clip it at an angle rather than just horizontal. Yeah, it definitely works easier. Saves more effort having to file away the bottom of the board, especially if you're accurate with the clippers. Okay. Penguin Dropping said, I'm pretty new to the mech community, one of the first ones I've looked into when I started this hobby. Thank you for the details. Not a problem at all, man. If you've ever got any questions, there's no such thing as a silly question. There's no such thing as a silly answer either. Just ask away. I'm always happy to share. Okay, yeah, this is a prototype PCB. The production one will be black. We've already established that earlier on. Okay, so as I said before, we're going to be building this one with ANSI, enter, full left shift, and spacebar as well. 7U spacebar. I'm just going to get these screws ready. All good there. What we're going to do is lube these with my new super special way of lubing them. So what we're going to do first of all is, this is just dielectric grease. We're going to go into the base and we're going to just put a nice rice grain sized piece across the base there. We're going to do the same on the other side. Okay. What we're going to do then is we're going to place this in the board. Yes, I know what you're thinking. We haven't lubed the rest of it. Don't worry, we're going to lube it and tune them. Don't worry. Those are in nice and firmly. We're then going to screw those down. Okay. Remember, guys, when you're screwing these in, you don't want to screw too tight. You're not trying to crush the PCB. You just want it finger tight. As soon as you start to feel some resistance, that's when you need to stop. The last thing you want to do is go too tight, crack the PCB, and because these screws are self-tapping, which means they create the thread in the housing as you screw them in, the last thing you want to do is damage the threads or end up with them being loose in the end. Okay. Straight Classy says, welcome to Penguin Droppings. The hobby can be fun. It can be frustrating as well at times, but it is very fun. Yeah, there's more positive experiences than negative experiences in this hobby, in my opinion. Okay, so we're just going to pop the next stabilizer in. Okay, screw this down. Space CD Key says, where can I buy a bottle like that? I got this from Amazon. Just look for art bottles. That's all I search for. They're designed for paints and enamels and things like that to try and express those. Does the iron have ISO support? It does. I can show you that on the PCB in a second, and then of course you could buy the ISO plate. So yes, ISO is supported, just not as standard. So you can see here that both ISO and ANSI are supported. Okay. Yeah, I got one of these as well. This isn't mine. I have to send this one back, sadly. This is a build for Baron, but I am dead excited to get mine in the coming months. Okay, just going to pop the last two screws in. Lube bottle, nice. Zui, thank you very much for that. You can buy those bottles on AliExpress. I use them for liquid flux and iso alcohol. Yeah, my wife uses them for like hand creams and stuff like that when we're going on holiday flights and stuff. You can buy them for all sorts of different reasons. I use them for doing infill quite a lot, mixing paints up for infills. resin, that kind of stuff as well. Okay, so that's the stabilizers all in place. Next thing what we're going to do is we're going to now turn it on its side. We're going to go into the front of the stabilizer and just basically fill that up with lube. Going to do the same on this one. And then the spacebar orientation is the opposite way around. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to pull it out. We're going to go into the back. We're just going to drop a blob of lube where we can see the stem at the back. Then we're going to do the same, but we're going to turn the PCB around. This time on these two, we're going to do the blob of lube just in the back. And the same just over here. And then we're going to go into the front of the spacebar stabilizers and just fill those up as well. There we go. Once the board's built, we'll tweak those if they don't sound particularly great, but that's enough lube for now. Next thing we're going to do is just line the plate up, make sure everything aligns nice and neatly, smoothly. Okay, so there you go, you can see that there's a little bit of movement around the stabilizers. Got to say as well, guys, well done on these stabilizer cutouts. This is the way you should do a stabilizer cutout on a plate. None of this funny shape or anything like that. Nice, clean rectangles. Got to say that's much my preferred way of seeing them on here. Is this method for lubing stabs? It's a quicker and easier way of doing it, and it seems to work really well. It's faster, about 10 times faster than it is using a brush, which is how I used to do it, and it works really, really well, and it's easy to top it up as well. Walker just uses globs with 205, also an easy way of doing it. Yeah, nothing wrong with 205 or dielectric grease, whatever you prefer. Yeah, don't see on can key, so possibly. Is that for the ISO plate? Yeah, I think the plate files are going to be open source as well, so if you guys want to make your own plates, you will be able to. How come the space stabilizer was flipped? Just for space reasons across the bottom of the PCB, I think. But UPass can probably provide more information. For a space bar, it doesn't actually matter which orientation it is. For the ISO enter, it does, depending on how you orientate the switch. You need to orientate the stabilizer the correct way, but for the other keys, it doesn't matter. Is production PCB also Canon keys or only for the Proto? I think it is still the same design, the same PCB. It's just now going to be black and gold. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just pop a couple of switches into the plate. One in each corner, and then what I'm going to do from there is just clip them into the PCB, see if they're going to hold. Or if we're going to need to solder some switches into the PCB first to hold it all together before we put the rest of the switches in. Okay, that's those switches all in place. What I'm going to do now is just push them in. So you can see that that's holding nice and tight. So it takes some pressure to push the switch into the PCB. Sometimes the PCBs don't grip the switches too tightly, and in that case what I do is I just put the 4 in, 2 in the center, and then solder those before putting the rest of the switches in. But these are all going in nice and neatly. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is just put a couple in the center, make sure we're still getting that same connection to the PCB. Everything's looking okay there, and now we're just going to fill in the rest of the gaps, making sure we've not got any bent pins. Okay, so this housing isn't completely closed, that's why we've got an issue with that. Don't know who you did your lubing, Baron, but the I don't know if you guys can see that. But this switch isn't fully closed, it's slightly open here. You can just see that the leg's slightly off. Upas, the owner of Canon Keys, designed the PCB. Yep, correct. What would work just as well as 10mm needle tip bottle dropper, very readily and available, cheap. Yep, I've seen people do it with syringes as well. Lots of people investigating it. Is the plate as tight as a single plate? No, it's nowhere near. The tolerances on this are much better, I'll be honest. Okay, that's the first one done. Again, another switch not fully closed. That looks to be too far damaged to be able to use it. Just checking each of these as I do it because I think some of the legs on these have just got a little bit bent out of position. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but this leg here is actually raised off. Don't know if that's visible in the camera, probably not, but the leg's kind of raised off. What's your opinion on switch films? Switch films are useful on older switches that have been opened a few times and they're a little bit looser. I don't think that they're necessary for 99% of builds. I tend to use them only on vintage switches, so I use them in this board. I'll also be using them on my Vint Brown build when I do that in the near future. But I do tend to shy away from vintage switches unless it helps. Don't worry, I set 90 switches because I know I set. Oh, did you lube these yourself? I think you overforce your housings open when you're opening them, dude. Because the pins are just a little bit harder to close. Vint Browns, yeah, vintage Browns, man. There we go. One row all done. I've got 90 of those vintage Browns, Gary. And you would love them. In fact, I might have them to hand. I'll see if I can show you them in a second. Baron Too Strong, yeah. I thought it just reduced wobble. Yeah, they do. So, but they actually help the switches sit together. The pins have been warped over time, or the switch has been opened too many times and stuff like that. They do help them just sit together a bit better and close that gap. Switch films don't really change the sound, in my opinion. If you put two switches, one switch filmed next to each other, one switch filmed and one not next to each other on a board, I'd be very surprised if you could hear a sound difference. Sound is 90% of the reason why I build boards these days. If you use them heavily, use switch films. I feel like times when I've gamed on my Tealers, I feel like they need some films. I don't really do anything. I mean, the only reason, the reason why they stop a little bit of wobble is what they do is they put a layer between the top and the bottom housing, so it actually pushes the top half and bottom housing apart a little bit more, which means that the stem's just held slightly further up. You're talking 0.1 millimeters at most. It's not a huge difference. Yeah, if you imagine there not being any room for it, filming a tight tolerance switch sort of adds drag, throws off the tolerances. Yeah, you can throw off the tolerance of the switch a little bit as well. Films aren't always a good idea. It depends entirely on the switch. I only use it if the switch isn't fitting together well, if the top and bottom housing are loose. There's so many good switches on the markets these days that mods like that are just not worthwhile anymore. I think Brian and I talked about it on stream on Thursday. Both of us said it's a modification we're glad is dying out. Lolly Knight is here as well. Good evening, good sir. Thank you very much for joining. Or madam, as it may be. Okay, second row done. Just going to do this column here. Shout out to UPass as well for south facing switches, always good. First Garden says, what is that row switch holder thing? That looks really useful. So this is just, these are just little bits of plastic that Drop have found that actually happen to just fit a switch nicely in them. I personally don't like to use these. They're just chipped in these. Baron shipped the switches in these for me. They're good for not bending pins in transit actually. So the pins on the bottom of the switch are kind of protected, so they aren't going to bend in transit, which bags don't help with. So they are good for that. I will give them that. But I like to use my actual base station to pull switches out of when I'm ready to build. They have them with the Holy Pandas and with the Halos. Yeah, I don't know if they still use them for the Halos, but they definitely still use them for the Holy Pandas. What board will I try marshmallows out on? Not sure yet. Depends on when we get enough in to build with. Brian's got 2 switches, just 2. So he thinks they're alright, but he's not sure if we've just been given a good batch or how that's working. So we've asked for 70 each to do a proper build with, so we can actually give a bit of a review on them rather than just second guessing based on a couple of switches, because I don't think 2 switches is ever enough to justify that it's the switch you want to use, or that it's valuable, or that it's worthwhile using. You definitely need a board's worth to be able to do that. Okay, so now starting to make some good progress here, guys. Board's almost filled with switches. Everything's nice and neatly aligned. Can feel it all sitting in the PCB nicely. We'll check, see if we've got any bent pins before we solder, but I think we'll be good. Famous last words are all going to be bent. Okay. Mr. Petrov says, I like film on creams. Sure, yeah. I mean, I'm never going to say no to people doing it, If you want to do it, go for it, man. Just personally, it's not a modification I want to do. Never tempt fate with your words, Jay. Always goes horribly wrong for me. Yeah, I know. We'll see how it goes. At least when streaming, yeah. Okay, almost there now, guys. Just a few more switches on this row to go. And then we can do the bottom row and we'll be all good. We'll check for any bent pins and then we'll get the soldering iron out and we'll crack on with the soldering. What's my soldering iron? I use a TS100, also in copper colour. Because the tip's cheap, the tips are easy to use, it heats up really quickly, it's solid, it's reliable, it's dependable, it's lightweight, small form factor, heats up extremely quickly, never any issues with the heat from it either. Really good soldering iron. Doc's seen some of Quer's horribly long streams. Nah, some of his streams are great. Some of them are terrible, but some of them are great. He was better than I am on Top Clack. Truth. Okay. Okay. Getting there now, guys. Just a couple more to go. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what Brian does to my camera, Petrov, on stream. But when we're doing the main show, my camera isn't as crisp and clear as the image you can see right here, or well, right here if I point it out, it's there on my screen. But this image you can see of my face, it is not as clear when Brian gets that feed. I don't know what he does to it, but he didn't do it to Quers. That's all I'm saying. He didn't do it to Quers. Okay. Doc agreeing that Quer's better on Top Clack than I am. Maybe Quer should be the new host. Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys something in a second. So I pushed one switch in and it's got a problem, and this is where it's really easy to show by what I meant by the legs not being correct. So if you can see here, guys, one of the legs is actually bent out from the switch top, and as I push the switch in, it's just come further out. So I'm going to remove that switch and replace it. But yeah, just be careful when you're closing your switches that all of your switch tops are aligned, and make sure that when you do close your switches as well, that you've not, well, when you're opening your switches in the first place, that you're not causing issues with them. So you can see now that that leg is completely bent out of position. should sit nice and flush against there and hold the switch closed, but that's now too loose to use, so I'm going to remove that switch and add another one. So don't over force your switches when you're opening them, guys. There we go. Now what we're going to do is just flip the board over, just go one by one and check that we can see 2 pins for each switch. So you can see here there's 2 pins, one here and one here. Oh, if the camera zooms in, you can see there's one here and one here. So just going to go and visually check each of these in turn, make sure we've got no bent pins. Just literally scanning through, making sure we can see them. There's one that's not bent, but it's kind of got a kink in it, so I'm going to probably change that. Just a nice visual check of all of the different pins, just making sure that we're not going to have any problems. Last thing you want to do is solder one pin in, realise a pin's bent, and then not be able to solder the next in. Okay, all looking good here. Just the one that I want to tweak on the top row. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see it, but the one here is kind of not bent, but it's got a small, kind of like a small kink in it. So I'm just going to remove that switch and replace it. So if you can see here, so it's not bent as in a bent pin, but you can see just there that the tip of the pin has bent over. Or if my camera decides to focus, just there. See that it's just bent over. Not sure how clear that is on stream, but it is. So again, we'll just swap that out, put another switch in. All looking good there. And then we're all good. Okay. All actuating nicely, that's looking good. Odin's got to go. Thank you very much for joining, Odin. I hope you go well and have a great evening. I broke a top of a Holy Panda that way. Yeah, it happens. Do you recommend a switch opener? I really like the... hold on, I'll show you. I can't remember the name of it. This is the switch opener I use. So it's by TNU Labs. It's got MX on one side, and then on the other it's got Kale. It works really, really well. I use that for 90% of my builds. The version 1 one as well came in this nice little carry case. This only, the nut breaker or the nutcracker or something, that only does MX, but both really, really useful. Definitely like those. There we go. Okay. I think I need a sample of inks to see housing up close. I'll send you one, Tux Key. Just send me a message and I'll send you one. Nutcracker, yeah, that's the one. First Garden says, what's your schedule for streaming? So every Sunday night I do a build stream, except when I'm on holiday, vacation, etc. That's usually 8 PM UK time or noon PST, 3 PM EST. It usually takes a couple of hours, and we do that every Sunday. Every Thursday at 6 PM PST or 9 PM, something like that, EST, and 2 AM UK time, which is where I'm based. We do the actual Top Clack weekly show, which is a bit of a news recap around interest checks and group buys for any keyboards, key sets, or other related paraphernalia. And then we do ad hoc streams based around that as well. But yeah, pretty much every Sunday, 8 PM UK time, I'll be here. So it's just gone 9 o'clock now, but yeah, I'll be here doing streams. Won't be here next week actually because it's the UK meetup. So I'll be doing the UK meetup on Saturday, which just means it's going to take me most of my weekend on Sunday to catch up from that. So other than that, I'm back in 2 weeks with another build. I'm not sure what yet though. I've got quite a few to do, so I'll figure out something for that. Okay, time to crack on with the soldering. I'm just going to pop this on to heat up. Kester solder, as always, nothing but the best for Baron. First thing I'm going to do is just solder a switch in each corner. Probably do 2 up here, 2 in the centre, and then once we've done those, we'll then go side to side on the rest of the board and make sure that we accommodate all of the switches. I'm just going to solder 1 and solder 2. Come down here, quickly just solder in there and in here. Pop over to the other side. And then what we're doing here is effectively making sure that any movement we do now to the board, if I drop it, heaven forbid, or if I bend something, or if I need to replace any switches, what we're doing here is we're making sure that everything is still going to stay aligned, nothing's going to move out of position, and everything will work as intended. There we go. Keyboss is best value, Nutcracker the most premium. Yeah, I've not tried the Keyboss, I don't have one, but I have both versions of Nutcracker. It's not just lads that meet up Gouty, there's ladies and gentlemen and children and all sorts of people coming to the meetup, so we'll all have a good time, I'm sure. Okay, so I'm just going to go do row by row here. You guys, if you've got any questions, now's a great time to tag me and ask them. So if you want to know anything about this particular board, any upcoming builds, anything around the JO2, anything around Top Clack, anything around the UK meetup next week, anything around my personal life, I'm happy to share with you guys as well. Feel free to ask away, but now is the best time for you to start tagging me, and then I can spend some time answering those questions straight after. Okay. Okay, almost done on this first row. Just going through, soldering nice and neatly. Try not to hold your soldering iron too long on each pin, but make sure you're holding it on the pin and the pad when you apply solder. You just want to go gently. You don't need to go fast, you can go quite slow. You go just at the pace that you need to go at. How many beans makes 5? 17. Do you prefer lube cream or lube black inks? Personally, I prefer lubed inks. Lubed inks are my go-to switch right now, I've got to be honest with you. I really enjoy using them. I do, however, use creams as my daily board at work, or I did up until Thursday of last week, where I was using my Noxry 268AG with creams in. That's actually going to be at the UK meetup if anyone wants to try it. But I'm about to move buildings at work, so I'm not quite sure what board I'm going to take in, although I am eyeing up the Molly from TKC. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but as a workflow board, man, that looks good. USB pass-through so I can charge my phone, a numpad which is great for spreadsheet working, great design, it comes in that lovely hot pink colour. Really hoping that Jason and I can sort something out for one of those. Okay, get through this row and then I'll answer the next questions. Almost there now, guys. Almost 2 rows done. That's pretty quick. Okay. Okay. Just making sure we've got everything soldered there. Okay, that's that row done. Archduchess says, thoughts on TMOV2? I'm in, definitely 100% in. I'm trying to sort something out with UPass already to get hold of one. Wrong, 2 beans, a bean and a half a bean and a bean. Okay, sure. Gary says, that's what Gary says, sorry. Quoting says, how do you feel about the fact that Mechs on Decks will have a 24-hour stream before you guys? Maybe I'm going to be on the 24-hour stream with Mechs on Deck. I know it's one of those things. So the Top Clack 24-hour stream, it was all arranged at one point. We had it scheduled, we had dates, we had guests, and then sadly my mum passed away, and we had to kind of cancel it and move it around, and we've just never got everything sorted out since then. So it will happen with the Top Clack 24-hour stream. It's just timing now. It's just when is the best date for it and the time for it. And we kind of want to make it an annual thing, and do it fairly frequently, or maybe even every 6 months. It's just timing now. That's all it is. So we'll get there. We will have one. The Mechs on Decks guys and I are talking at the minute about their 24-hour stream. So maybe you'll see me on it. Maybe you won't. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Where did you buy that black sphere? So this is just it's just a copper holder, wire copper holder. It was Amazon. I think it was £3, so probably about $2.50 in terms of dollars. It was dead cheap. How's your day been? My day's been pretty good. We had family round for dinner today. My wife cooked a lovely Sunday roast. We had roast chicken and roast gammon with all the trimmings, roast potatoes, mashed potatoes, roasted vegetables, you name it, we had it. It was absolutely fantastic. And then we had lovely apple and black currant pie for dessert, with custard and all of that kind of stuff, and it was delicious. A couple of glasses of wine, a couple of beers, some nice aperitifs. It was delicious and a great way to spend the day. Other than that, I spent a little bit of time out in the garage this morning, which is always one of my favourite pastimes. So yeah, it's been really enjoyable. Back to work tomorrow, however. Back to the day job at least. Okay. Mr. Petrov says, how does the Molly have... Does the Molly have arrows? I thought not. And doesn't that gimp it a bit for Excel for you, or not really? No, because I can just put the arrows on like a layer or something like that. That should be fine. I think it will be more than fine. I'm not worried about it. I just really want one. Okay, almost through this row as well. Once we're through this row, then we'll just move on to the spacebar row, which should be the fastest row of the lot. The fewest switches are on that row. And then we'll plug everything together, and we'll see what we've got. Okay. Thanks guys, thanks. Sorry to hear that. No, it's one of those things, it just happens. This is leaded solder, yeah. Don't tell the EU police because it's not allowed in the EU, but yes, this is leaded solder. Okay, almost done now. Tensor saying favourite and least favourite type of potato. Favourite roasted potatoes, least favourite sweet potatoes. Especially when someone gives me sweet potatoes as fries. Like, what are you even on? Why? If I'm asking for fries, I want the bad stuff. I want the grease. I want the salt. I want, you know, as we call them in the UK, I want chips. I don't want sweet potatoes. Don't get me wrong, I like sweet potatoes. I like a roasted sweet potato, but not when I ask for chips or fries. Just give me the damn potato. Don't give me sweet potato. Okay, so there we go. So that's all soldered together now. Sounds delicious. Yeah, it was really delicious. What solder are you using? A TS100. It's really good. I love it. Are you going to do the Kapora sale tonight? Yeah, I'll be doing the Kapora sale. Yeah, I can't remember what time it starts, but I think it's 12 hours it's open, so I'll get that. I usually have my iron at about 320, 330 for soldering. For desoldering, about 400. The KSG, I've not tried that, but yeah, if you like it, great. I buy leaded solder at many stores locally in the Netherlands. In the EU, it's technically illegal, but if you can get hold of it, go for it. Sweet potato fries are delicious. You are flawed. Yeah, they're not bad, but when you're asking for fries, you want fries. You don't want sweet potato fries, right? It's like if you ask for a Coke and someone brings you a Diet Coke, that's not what you asked for. You asked for a Coke. If you wanted a Diet Coke, you'd ask for a Diet Coke. Give me your death chips, not your healthy ones. Exactly, right? Yeah, we do call them chips, but I'm aware that most people who watch are American, so I try and tweak my language for it. Non-leaded is not allowed if you're a company. You can buy lead in all stores here in the Netherlands as a consumer. Interesting. B&Q and all the hardware stores here don't stock it anymore. It sometimes pops up on Amazon and eBay and then gets taken down quite quickly. Twice roasted potatoes and duck fat. Now Petro is talking, yes. But boil them first, and when you boiled them and they've gone soft on the outside, what you do is you put them in the colander, you go outside in the cold air, and you shake the colander around, and as you shake the colander around, they'll all scuff on the edges, so they'll get like powdery bits on the edges, and they'll start to scuff all around the edges of the potatoes. Then you fry them in the oven, in just a thin layer of oil, and when you take them out of the oven, you then put them in the deep fat fry for about 30 seconds. And what scuffing them up does, it gives nice crispy bits all around the edges, and nice and soft and fluffy in the middle. So that is how you cook a roast potato. It might be just illegal in consumer products, but I can't buy it. Most places can barely even cook chips properly to begin with. That's very true. Okay, that's the soldering done, guys. We should be done with it. I'm going to turn the soldering iron off in a second. It'll only take a second to heat up if we need to check anything or change anything. But what we're going to do now is we're going to... Well, apparently I'm taking this apart. What we're going to do now is we're just going to test the PCB, make sure it's all working. So let me just plug this in. This is the bit where I need to check which way around this all goes. There we go. There we go, so that's all plugged in there. Steal this USB-C cable. There we go, you hear the noise. Load up switch hitter. Let me just make that visible for you guys. Ta-da! Just like magic, there you go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just going to check that the keys work as expected. So I'm just going to go through them one by one. Escape, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, all looking good. So the split doesn't work, that's just a QMK issue. So you can see on the split backspace here, this key doesn't work, but this key does. So it's just a QMK formatting issue. I'll let Baron do all of his... Again, that one and that one there. It's just these three on the QMK configurator just need sorting out. I will let Baron program the board himself. I'm confident that those will work. Caps lock is all working. There we go. Shift. All looking good there. Control, Win, Alt, Space. And there we go. Just the one key there. There we go. Nothing set as FN, unless that's as FN, but I don't think it is. Nope. Okay, so I'm comfortable that those two not working there are just because, well, all these three will be on the same column, so yeah, just need to sort that out. Programming issue rather than anything else. So that's all working nicely now. I'm going to take the USB out. We'll come back to using that later on. In fact, we won't need it actually. I'll just plug this back in. There we go. Top Clock is now a cooking channel. Hey man, we've always been about the food. Always been about the food. Okay, so now the board's fully put together, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide the cable into its groove as I'm just placing the plate down. There we go, that's all now nicely seated. There's not much movement left and right, but there is a little bit, and same up and down. That's to be expected with any kind of isolation mount board, just because it's not fastening the plate to anything. I'm going to place the top on, and then I'm hoping that I can pick this up without too many issues, and then I'm just going to flip this over like so. And then what we're going to do here, Talisman's going to love this, but we're going to go on Talisman. If you're about Talisman, you can post in chat what I'm going to do here. What we're going to do is just partially tighten this screw first, just to make sure we've got a nice grip on the board. We're not going to over tighten. Oh, Mechanise, your package is packed up. Sending it out tomorrow. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Tighten like a head gasket. Yeah, exactly. Baron knows this. Talisman knows exactly what I do here because I've got a phrase for it. So I'm waiting for him to listen and post. He usually posts a few different variants of the way I say it. So 159 is here. Hey, baby. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, dude. Iron build for the win. Baron instantly assumes I know what he means by tightening like a head gasket as well. Yeah, exactly. Counterclockwise and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly. So what I'm doing here, guys, is Talisman's not posting. I'm going in counter diagonally or diagonally opposed, making sure that I screw the screws partially in, but I'm not fully tightening them down. I'm just tightening them down a little way, and that's just to make sure we're getting even pressure on the gasket as we push it all together. So I'm just tightening them all part way, and then once they're all part way done, I'll go around and I'll tighten them up. Chris Doy says, waiting for this keyboard so much, my first high-end keyboard that I've ordered. Nice, I think this will be a great keyboard for your first one, dude. Program the PCB to ISO UK since it's a bit finicky in VIA with ISO. Oh, thanks, man. I was just going to ask for the KLE files, and I would not KLE, not VIA, QMK files, the folder, and then I'd have just programmed it myself, added it to my personal repository and done it myself. But that's fine. There he is. There's Talisman solution. Diametrically opposed, counter diagonally, rotational counter opposing, cross corresponding non-sequential, and counter crosswise. There we go. Okay, practically speaking, how is this isolation solution different in resultant theory from that using the J01? So in the J01, you've got the plate is sandwiched on all three sides, top, bottom, and around the edge. Basically, in this design, what you're doing, what you're experiencing, is you're getting the plate is effectively sandwiched on just the top and the bottom, but around all four sides. So in theory, there is potentially less sound leakage on the J01 between the three layers. However, in practice, that might not be true. And in theory, this should offer a crisper sound, while the sound on the J01 would be much clearer. Okay, so we're just going around and tightening these up nicely now. What does a J01 seek to achieve that this isolation solution might not? This board's more about consistency across the board. My board's more about improving the sound profile across the board. So that's why on the J01 there's also an acoustic cut into the base of the actual base of the keyboard. There's like a channel that's grooved in there that's designed to improve the acoustics. So yeah, so I think the J01 was very much a case of remove all impact of the plate touching the case, adding reverberation or sound to the design. This board is very much about consistency across key feel and consistency across sound as well. So similar kind of design aesthetics. There we go. Okay, so that's all now nicely screwed together. It's all now nicely put down. Next thing to do is caps. And we need to put some caps on the board. Let's get rid of switch here to key dials. Don't want to see that. So can anyone guess what caps we're going to be putting on the board? Anyone guess which keycap set Ashley might have bought for Vox? Post your answers now. Honeywell? No, it's not Honeywell. Good guess though. Not Honeywell. Vox, you can't guess. You can't go for it. Baron, even you don't know. Well, these are actually going to ship back with the board. So Baron, it's your responsibility to get them onto Vox safely. It's not Olivia. No. It's not Minimal. Not Pristine. No. Not Cafe. Sadly, Cafe isn't out yet. I wish it was. It's not Bento. No. Faux Cafe. No, I'm not doing that. It's not Nines either. Cafe would look nice, I agree. It's not DMG. No. It's not Peaches and Cream either. It's not out yet. It's not DMG. No. It's not Cubic. It is GMK. It's definitely GMK. It's not White and Black. No one will ever guess. It's a really rare set, actually, and I'm a little bit annoyed that I sold it, to be honest, but it's going to a good home. Actually, if it doesn't look good, I am blaming you, because it's not Space Cadet. It's quite a rare set. Think, yeah, guess a colour first. See if you can guess the main colour of the set. Led Zepp, not Serica, no, not Led Zepp. It's a pretty rare set, yeah, pretty rare set. It's not Honeywell, it's not blue and white, no, it's not blue. It's not grey, it's not red, not 9009, no, that's really common. It's not Taro, no. That one Dodge, not Triumph Adler. Okay, you're getting towards the Talisman Solutions onto it. Green is the right main colour of the set, or one of the main colours of the set. So that's the kind of things you want to think about it. So keyboard and coat, no. Coniferous, Mio Go 11, well done. It is coniferous. We are going to be using GMK coniferous on this board today, which I have just here. So well done, dude. Congratulations. No prize. It was just for fun, but congratulations nonetheless. So we shouldn't need any of these keys that are on top of the case, and sadly I won't be able to ship the tray. Vox, it is going to come in bags, but you won't need any of these keys on top because these are all the ISO ones. And I'm not going to put a green space bar on it. I might put the green arrow accents on actually. Let's leave these to one side. Jay loves his green. I do, and I'm really sad that I've sold this set, to be honest, because it is a great set. I did think I had a duplicate, but I don't. So, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So let's start putting the keycaps on. We'll just put the green accents on for the arrow key. Maybe the enter as well. What do you think, guys? What do you think? You tell me. In fact, you guys tell me where do you want the green accents to go. I'll leave those there. You guys tell me. I'll just carry on putting the keycaps on for the alphas while you decide. You win the board. I wish I could give this board away. I wish I could, but I can't. It takes an OG to know an OG. Yeah, Jay loves his green. I do like green sets. Royal Alpha is my favourite set of all time, I think, especially with the white mods. Escape and arrows. Okay, yeah, good shout. Good shout. We could do escape and arrows. So round 1 made it to production, which is why I've got it here. Round 2 did not make it to production and was cancelled. Okay. I don't know what keys you want up here, Baron, but I'm just going to go with these two because they look nice. And I am actually just going to turn this off as well because we don't need it. Everything was fine when we soldered that together. There we go. We said we were going to put the escape on, so there we go. Escape and arrows, yeah, a couple of people said escape and arrows, that's what we're going to do. We'll go escape and arrows for the green keys. Space. It's one thing I dislike about this set actually. The green space bar does not look good. Does not look good. I am looking forward to Terra. Yes, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm definitely going to be buying Terra when that runs. Accidents and arrows together is illegal. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Pona is a man of taste and class. He's not wrong there. Jack up the price of your set and sell it back to Jay. He did buy 3 different sets of Honeywell and I hope to find the peculiar one. It's a particular one, not a peculiar one. But yeah, I am going to miss this set. Even though I haven't used it and it's not been on the board in probably, I don't know, 2 years, sorry, since it first ran. I don't think I've used this for more than 20 minutes. Where's step caps? I'm sure there's a step caps, there it is. Accent spacebar is sin. Yeah, apart from on Olivia, it looks really good on Olivia. Have a black keycap top right will look better. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe find a black keycap to put there. Thought you were going to tell me you needed a green keycap up there, but yeah. Not sure what key to put up there actually. Let's just put that there. Let's go for that. After all, we're looking for aesthetics over correct legends here. What if the accent for arrows is a different colour to enter like Dev TTY? Still a sin. Too many. Did I get Camping R2? No, I've got Camping R1. I Abdallah 9 says, what set is this? This is GMK Camping. No, Camping Coniferous. GMK Coniferous. What did you guys say? Arrows, yeah, so I want to put that on that. There we go. What do you guys think? Do you think this set works with this board? I think it looks quite nice. Well, I know, so this isn't my board. This is not for me. This is for Baron, who is part of Smith & Room, one of the guys behind this board. So this board's for him, so therefore it's built in his layout. Simple as that. When I get my version of this board, which will be identical to this, different key set though, and carbon fibre plate, I'll be building that one in ISO. Need the 1.75U shift, and I've gone blind, I can't find it. There it is. Okay. Just need to work out what we're going to do with keycaps here. So we've got page up, page down, and then let's go for FN. The 7U spacebar. Okay, and then we just need the 1.5U mods. A little bit of control here. And then we're just going to pop the win key just there. So let me just move this tray out of the way. There you go, guys. There you have it. This is the Smith & Roon Iron165 wearing GMK coniferous with full copper base. It's the FE edition in white. I think that looks pretty good. Where can you get a carbon fibre plate for the board? I ran a carbon fibre group buy just a few weeks ago, and that's where I've ordered it from. Really curious for the sound test. Me too. I'm interested to see what it sounds like. Not a huge fan of those keycaps on the FE. That's fine. It's your choice. I prefer this set without accents, without any accents at all. It's a much nicer set in my view. If I do that, I think you can agree it looks a little bit nicer. The green's probably a little bit too much for it, but I think the set looks nice. And I know Vox has been after it for a while, so that's why we're using it. It's going to be loud. I don't think it is. I think it's going to be quite quiet because these switches are quite heavily lubed, so I don't think it's going to be as loud as you think. Conscious kind of giant, yeah. Great layout. Yeah, it's a great layout. Yeah, fantastic layout. Jay's not too bad either. Woo! Board looks silver in that lighting. It's very much white. It's because I've just got the stream lights above, but it is very much white. I can put a silver board next to it and you'll be able to see the difference, but it's very, very, very definitely white. Has the group buy passed, or is it still possible to join? If you mean for my plates, that's passed. If you mean for this board, it's passed. So the group buy is over for both. Maybe I'm just used to how Holy Panda sound in it. Yeah, maybe. Did my stream just freeze then? Did I just get some... No, it says the bitch rate was fine. Okay, interesting. It says it's excellent. Okay. Yeah, but better without accents, but whatever, beauty in the eye of the beholder. Yeah, exactly. This is copper plate. No key sets are subjective, but oof, I'm in love. Yeah, well done, man. It's a good key set. But thank Ashley, because he arranged it. Buffering, yeah, I got the buffering as well for a second on my other screen, bizarrely, which is really weird. What key switches do you for this keyboard? So this is lubed Gateron inks. It's these switches here. If the camera decides to focus, go on camera. There you go. Lubed Gateron inks, which were provided pre-lubed. I did not do this lube job. These were provided pre-lube. The only other thing I'm going to do now is just share something else, and it is going to mean that I have to take this keycap off because one of the other things that was provided as part of this this build experience, which no one's noticed because it's been sat here in view all stream, is the Salvan copper Smith & Roon keycap. So just want to show you this, guys. This thing is a work of art. This thing is lovely. It's copper. You can see Salvan's engraved logo on the base. It's been in plain sight all the stream, guys. No one has noticed it. I think someone had asked me what it was. There you go, Smith & Roon logo. All looking great there. So I'm actually going to put that on the board here. It's really hefty as well. It's really, really hefty. I need one of these. That's all I can say. There we go, guys. Just to mirror the copper in both corners. Show you that up close. You got the copper up here on the badge, which just needs a bit of a clean up, and a copper keycap just there as well. So there we go. That cap is really nice. It's stunning, is that cap. Okay, so it's now time for us to do the customary sound test. Let me angle my microphone a little bit more towards the keyboard. Let me pause the music. You probably can't hear it anyway, but I can. There we go. Let's just catch up with chat. That's something. It is lovely, is that cap. It is genuinely a lovely thing. I didn't get the copper solvent. I have some regrets. Yeah, add it to your order now if you can. It's a cool set, but not on this board. It does not look bad. I prefer a whiter set. I think if I was going to keep this board right now with the key sets that I have right now, I would be using Olivia on it. That is my view. I'd be using Olivia on it, but it's not my board. I'm not keeping it. And by the time I get my board, Olivia won't be the set that goes on this. So there we go. Does this key feel slightly lighter? Do you know what? It doesn't. It doesn't. How much does a board like this cost? This was $800 plus for the board. The switches are probably another $75, $80. The stabs are another $15. The keycaps are another $200. So around $1,300, something like that, I guess. Jay, did I get the same colour? Yeah, I bought exactly this board. So the board, you see it with white and copper. The only difference is mine will have a carbon fibre plate. Other than that, yes, the same board, and mine will be ISO, of course, as well. What board did you get? I got the FE. This is the Iron165. Yes, this is the Iron165. There you go. You can see the base there. Excuse the fingerprints. It's always way with the build. I'll clean it before I ship it back. And you can see the Smith & Rune logo here, and also in the other corner on the Solvent Artisan cap. Glad I have my headphones on so my wife can't hear the price details. Functional, if you got an FE as well, I'm glad you did, dude. It's really, really lovely. White carbon over fibre over PC, brass and copper. Okay, so in terms of plate materials, copper and brass are probably the two best metals. I don't like steel plates because they're too pingy. I don't like aluminium plates because they're too flexible and inconsistent. In terms of plastic plates, I love PC. I love POM. I think they both sound great, but they're probably a little bit too flexible in a build for me personally. In terms of carbon fibre, I think it's probably best all-rounder plate because it's stiff and firm, but it also works really, really well with gasket mounts, so it gives you flexibility over the whole of the board, so the whole board moves together instead of the board flexing depending on where you press like it does with POM. The whole board flexes at the same time with carbon fibre. It also gives a crisp, clean, clear sound, and I really like that, and it works exceptionally well when you're isolating the plate from the case, which is what I do on the J series of boards, and effectively what this does in terms of how the gaskets are mounted in here. That being said, copper is a great alternative. I have a copper plate in my VEA, which is just on the shelf here. You can't quite see it, but it is just there. And the copper plate in that sounds fantastic. It feels great. About as firm as brass, very similar brass, slightly more thockier than brass is clacky. So I think it has a slightly nicer sound profile, but you're very, very hard to hear that. You have to really pay attention. So if I was going to pick a metal plate, it would be copper. Anything else, I'd probably pick a PC or POM plate, but my absolute number one favourite plate material right now is carbon fibre. How much is this case? I'm really interested in getting either this, the KBD67, or the FXV to go with Sanctuary Rebirth PVT. So this particular one is $800 plus, $835 I think, something like that, is the FE version. The standard one was $450, $480, something like that. The KBD67 is about $200, very different. I do have a KBD67, don't know what I did with it. What did I do with it? Oh, again, you can't see it. It's over here in the corner, so right in the corner, middle shelf. So you've got the VEA, then we've got the V3 Singer, then I've got the Brutal 60 upright with GMK Scauldron. The board after that in the corner, which looks black, is the only chocolate brown KBD67 in existence. There you go. Sound test, we haven't done it yet. I'm about to do that. 880 FE was. There you go, 880, yeah, something like that. Voice test. You mean sound test and answer questions, please? Okay. Typing test, please. Okay, guys, I'm getting there. Usual caveat, please ignore my typing. I know I don't type optimally, but I do enjoy using these boards, and I can type just fast enough, so please ignore my finger position placement. But this is the Iron165 FE with lubed ink switches with 205 grade 0 on the housings and stem, and 104 on the springs, with a GMK key set, which is GMK coniferous. So here's a typing test. So there you go. So this is not loud the way this is the way these switches are lubed. So for me, I think these switches are a little bit over lubed. I would not put this much lube in a switch. So just to compare this board here I get out, this is unlubed inks. So this is completely unlubed inks. So these are stock. Just I know the different boards, but just to give you a view on how much lube these switches have got in them. So it wouldn't be my choice of how much to lube these switches. But I do think the board sounds and feels very solid. There is a bit of movement in there. You can't see it and physically, but you can feel that as you're typing. There is definitely a little bit of movement in there. It feels very even and crisp. So it doesn't matter where I'm typing. The typing feel is very, very similar. All of the rows feel very much the same. So there's very, very little difference in typing feel. There's not much difference in terms of the sound of the caps either, even when they're different sizes. The spacebar obviously sounds different. No rattle though, it's all good. Bear in mind, guys, that this is probably not an accurate reflection of what an unlubed switch or a lightly lubed switch might feel like. These are pretty heavily lubed, but it does sound and feel great. I'm very impressed with the feel. Let's catch up. No case foam, sounds solid, yeah. What do you think of the KBD67? Is it worth it? Yeah, I'll come back to that question in a bit. Well done, Vox King Baron. Yeah, I'm really impressed. I think even with an unlubed switch, I think this will sound great. I can't wait to build a couple more of these. Definitely can't wait. That key's always going to sound fun, just because of the copper cap, but it looks great, feels great. I'm really impressed. Yeah, this sounds great. Not loud at all. No, I think don't move your hands when typing. Like a magician. I know I don't type economically or perfectly, but hey, you know, you guys will watch sports with pundits that have never played sports ball in their life, so you know it's no different when I do it. I would run it without foam. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to put foam in my board either. I think the Baron and Vox Key have been spoiled by the Holy Pandas sound. I think that's what's made them worry about it, but I think it'd be fine. Tap the out mods, please. There you go. Stock sounds so good. Yep. JO2 has a way deeper trade, so it makes me different. It does, yes. It's not a fair comparison. I just wanted to show you that this board will be louder with stock switches in it, without them being lubed this much. FE will ship between plate and PCB foam and under foam PCB. Nice. Sounds like a lot of lube. It is a little bit over lubed, but I think it sound and feel great either way. I would definitely be using it without foam myself. JO2 leak. Well, I built the board on stream a couple of weeks ago, man, so it's not a leak. Love watching Jay's thumbs dance. Thanks, man. Thanks. I like quiet that way. I don't know the wife. Yep. Is Waves Capura on the bottom right? Yeah, that's the Waves Capura. Yeah. One of only 6, I think. It's not the rarest one I've got though. Not sure I'm a huge fan of the sound of the mobs, but the alpha is pretty buttery. Yeah. Sports ball. Yeah, sports ball. Would Wilmax sockets work on this PCB? I don't know. You'd have to ask UPass, I think. It sounds like my Volcano 660. I really like the sound of isolated mount boards. Yeah, well, the JO2's isolated mount as well, as is the JO1. The JO1 is lubed and does sound very different as well, again, but it's kind of in between these two. Yeah, you did just miss the typing test. I'm not really going to do any more than that, but you can find it on the VOD if you want to watch it later. I'm starting to like green caps. I love green keycap sets. Green keycap sets are sometimes the best ones. We need more. Maybe I should do a green keycap set. Maybe. Does every Met guy own that mouse? Yes. I actually bought the new version of this. I hate it, so I've gone back to this one. Should have just released a full copper set for this board. I'd rock that. If I could get Salvan to agree to do a full set of these copper keycaps for the board with the correct legends on, I would absolutely pay through the nose for that. I would do whatever he wanted me to do for him to get that. I would be all over it. I'd hate it because it would sound horrific depending on the body problem, but I would love the look and feel of it, and I would absolutely buy it. So Salvan, if you're watching, yeah, I'll buy the raw stock. You do it for me for free. Sounds like a good deal. TA Royal Alpha is the tease. Yeah, I love Royal Alpha. I've got the set just to the side there. One of my favourite. Going to have some good greens with Terror and Nautilus Nightmares. So I don't class Nautilus Nightmares as a green set because it's like I don't really see Waves as a green set. It's almost like a green accented set. Terror is great. I think Terror will look fantastic though. Sounds great. Yeah, I love this board. Baron, I might not ship this back. I might rebuild it and just never ship it back. See a green and grey set that Pingu cooked up. Yeah, sadly Pingu's not part of the community at the minute, and we can't get hold of him. So I too would love to see it, but yeah, sadly that's not going to be the case at the minute. I would have thought it would cost a fortune. It would, yeah. Tap the outers on small, please. I am really hammering it on there. Let me press it normally. Botanical is awesome. So Cat Jade. Yeah, I like Cat Jade. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I need to show some of the green set that I've designed. Maybe I should tease that on Instagram in the next few weeks. What Franken switch do I like the most? Probably MX Spires if I was going to pick one. I'll send you Baron's address. I promise it's the right one and not mine. Thanks, Desiree. Yes, we can do that. Jay just leaves the hobby and keeps bored. Yeah, just shut it all down, guys. It's over. Shut it down. They just wouldn't ship mine though. That's the thing. The one I bought, they'd just leave me with this one and wouldn't ship that one. So, that is mad thought. Yeah, it is. Cool. Right, guys. Now is the time. If you've got any more questions, I'm going to show you the board one more time. If you have got any questions, if you've got any thoughts, concerns, worries, ask away. If you are looking for new keycap sets, new stuff, you're based in the EU, do check out mykeyboard.eu. Thanks very much Necroman for sponsoring the stream, and very much thanks to Smith and Rune as well, Baron and Voxkey, for letting me build this board. I've been looking forward to this for weeks. I'm really happy with this board. I'm probably going to be using it for the next couple of days. It will be at the UK meetup as well. I will take it with me. It'll be at the UK meetup. Might change the keycap set for that though, to something a little bit more fitting. As far as I'm concerned, and we'll see how that goes. A couple of questions just come in. You need grey and yellow. Jim K. Luna, I see you went live today. Thanks for the feedback again. Nice, thanks, man. Yeah, I like that keycap set. So yeah, that's good. Vesu, I'm hoping I pronounced it right. Then it builds are more focused on the sound. I got on SE and planning to use it with lubed black inks. What plate do you think sounds better? Brass, copper, POM, PC. Of those, what do I think sounds better? If you only lube the switches lightly, I think POM would be the best of those 4 choices, personally. And this is just my personal opinion. Your mileage may vary. People might have different views. I think the copper plate is great if you want a metal plate. Again, this is heavily lubed switches. It's not like the lubed switches, so it will sound a little bit different. Swig Jumper says, do you have any opinions on Telio V2s? Yeah, great switch. Probably the most, probably the smoothest stock switch that you can buy, in my opinion. At the price though, the price point that you're paying for diminishing returns at that point. So at $1.10 when you can get inks for 75 cents a piece, or you can get Gatoron, Milky Tops Gatoron blacks for 15 cents a piece. I'm not sure that they're worth it, but they are very good switches. And they're probably the best style, probably the best linear on the market stock right now, if I'm honest. Vox Key, thanks Jay. Oh, thanks man, I appreciate it. When is R2? Hopefully soon. Did you get your carbon fiber plate via the group buy you did previously, or is there a way to order it through like Laserdisc? So there isn't a per order company that does anything like that. I will be running round 2 of the carbon fiber group buys if I can convince Satanicus to do it. Probably starting first week of the new year. If Satanicus wants to do it, that is. If not, we might struggle. But yeah, I plan to do round 2 for carbon fiber plates then. So that should ship in March. Which, if you wanted one for this board, it would align to that point. Meetup is less than a week. Yeah, next Saturday is the Leeds meetup. Looking forward to it. I've got to spend a couple of days on the phone now with the venue, sorting everything out as well. How much is this weigh? 8.3 pounds. So it's really hefty ham bone. Yeah, it's really ham bone. Tasman says, you're our favourite Sunday destination, Jay, even if it is Monday or close. It's Sunday, 10 p.m. Sunday at the minute where I am. 10 p.m. Sunday. SE comes with brass, so that's nice. Yeah, brass is nice, yeah. Would you still lube Telio switches? I wouldn't put... Okay, I know I just told you the JO2 had stock switches in there, but it's got that for a reason. I wouldn't put stock switches in any board I intended to use for a long period of time. I only put them in unlubed to break them in, which is why they're in the JO2 now. So those ones that are in the JO2 in the full 60% configuration, those switches are going to be removed once they're worn in, and when I rebuild it with one of the other prototype tops, the HHKB or the wing keyless top, those switches will get reused in that build and I'll lube them at that point. I'm down for R2, still rehabbing from after R1. Let me rest. Yeah, we'll get it sorted. New year, dude. New year. Should I get camping? Feels like I'm spending too much money. If you like camping and you can afford it, and it's not going to stop you buying food and paying your bills and all that other stuff, you get it, dude. You get it. What do you think of box royals? Seem like they could be quite interesting. Personally, not a fan. The only box switches I like are box navies and box jades, but you should try them if you want to try them. Definitely in for round 2. Nice. Sorry, I can't pronounce his name. It's in Chinese, but it says Forsen E Clap. He said, "Would you or Quake be getting more of the marshmallow switches reviewed a few days ago to do a field build test with?" Yeah, so Quakeham's actually reached out to the guys behind it. He has asked for more switches because reviewing on 2 switches isn't ideal, and it might be cherry picked switches. We're not sure, so we have asked for at least 70 each so that we can both do a build and compare them. We'll let you know in a couple of weeks if we get those as well. I'm Bollers, 8.3 pounds, yeah. Favourite lube, KY? No, it depends. If you mean switches, 205 grade 0 on the housing, 104 for the springs. If you mean for stabs, I don't like using 205 grade 0 on them. I much prefer to use dielectric grease because it's cheap. How long do you need to break them in for? About 10,000 presses, so about a week of heavy use. Can we get some beauty shots of the board, possibly? Yeah, I can show you it here. I will definitely take some pictures. Check out on Instagram, there'll be some pictures in the next week or so showing off the board from multiple different angles. I can't turn down an opportunity to photo this board, so I'll definitely be doing that before I ship it back. And if you watch out for the UK meetup next week, this board will be there, so there'll be some pictures, I'm sure, after the meetup. Close up of the bottom piece. Yeah, sure, we can show you the bottom. There you go. Ignore the fingerprints. I'll clean those off before I ship the board back. There you go. Do you know what lube was used on your black inks for this build? Yeah, so it was actually in the build. I can't remember what it was now. But if we do that command, it's in there. Oh no, I didn't put it in there. I thought I had put it in there. Why did I not do it? I didn't save it. That's why. Let me try that again. Let me try that again. There you go. 104 in the springs, 205 grade 0 in the housing and stems. There you go. Do you know? Yeah, we covered that. Send it to me, Squared Anchor. Yeah, I'd like to see it. with your quirk, because you can take some incredibly good pictures, man. You're probably one of the best keyboard photographers I know. Is it normal for these high-end custom boards in such a limited release? I think it was only 100 of these boards, 200 of this particular one. The JO1, for example, there was only 15 of that ever made, plus 2 prototypes, which will be raffled off for charity in coming weeks. So yeah, it is quite often, really limited numbers. There you go. Baron's confirmed it as well. Moradin says, can you talk about Gateron a bit? I know next to nothing about the new inked yellow versus milky yellows. So I haven't tried the milky. So you've got the stock Gateron switches, which are Gateron yellows, Gateron blacks. They're black based milky tops, or black based and clear tops. Or you can get all milky. So this is just a standard Gateron black, bang for buck, probably the best switch on the market right now, 15 cents, whatever it is, something like that. Milky housings on top are always best. Black bases are always best in my opinion. They need a spring swap and they need lube. Once you've done that, it's still a 30-cent switch and bang for buck, perfect. In terms of inks are probably the next step up in terms of the scale. So Gateron also make ink switches, and these come in a variety of colours. They come in red and this kind of smoky black, which are the same. They're both linears. Reds are lighter, but if you're spring swapping, it doesn't matter. These are probably arguably the best value switches on the market for me right now, in terms of where the price differential and the quality meets, and Telios are probably at the top, which are also made by Gateron as well. You've also got red inks, which are the same but just a red housing. I did have them out earlier, but I put them away. And then you've also got the blues, which are a blue version of this but clicky. In fact, there is one in here actually somewhere. Yeah, there is a blue one in there somewhere. I can't see it. There's a blue one in there somewhere. And then also you've got the yellow ones, which have a slightly different dust-proof cap. So that means on the cruciform here, there's actually sides that come up. They're not on here as well, but that's got shorter travel. Hope that covers it for you. Is it normal for the... Yeah, we covered that. Swig Jumper says, do you think there will be any issues with the copper plate on the SE? SE is aluminium, and aluminium touching copper can be problematic. So you also get the same thing with brass. So brass touching touching aluminium also should have that same problem. I've never seen it actually affect things, and it's more effective with steel against copper than it is with aluminium against copper, as far as I understand the chemical reaction. You also have to remember that most boards are anodized and covered and clear coated, so you're probably not actually going to have the two metals touching at any point. And even if you did, it's in such isolated spots that you could quite easily just put a little bit of clear silicone on or something else. You're never going to notice it. It's not going to be an issue, and it'll take decades before it even affects, to a slight extent, one of these boards. So I don't think you need to worry about it in these circumstances, dude. It's not like you've got two large faces that are touching each other. It's two tiny little contact points, or a couple of tiny little contact points around the edge of the board. It's not worth worrying about. It's gasket mounted, so it won't be touching the aluminium. But the top and the base on the SE are aluminium, but they're anodized, so you've got that coverage in place. Get on black inks are stupid good. Some freezing up from favourite spring. Hey man, if you like them, don't complain. Okay, mixed metal corrosion. Yeah, it's not going to be an issue. It's really not going to be an issue. Big problem in liquid cooling systems pieces. That's because you've got fluid in there. It's very different. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, so I think that's it. We've been 2 hours and 10 minutes to build this beautiful board. I'm really, really impressed with it. I hope you guys are too. I hope you guys have joined the group by. I'm really happy that you've joined it. I know I am. I can't wait to get my personal board. I don't want to send this back. If you guys are interested in this and you come into the UK meetup, it will be on my table at the meetup, along with the JO1, the JO2, and a few of my other boards as well. So please do come and say hi if you come into that meetup. Come and give me a wave. Come and give me a shout. My wife's going to be there as well, so do come and say hi. Daft Prophet is here saying awesome build. Thank you very much. I'm not sure if that's Ali or not. I think it might be. I might be wrong. The plate doesn't cut to such case at all. There you go. Even though between the top and the bottom, it's not going to be an issue. Yeah. Tuesday couldn't join the group by. Glad everyone liked it. It's quite a keyboard. Yeah, it's hugely heavy, hugely beautiful, absolutely stunning. Okay, it doesn't like there's any more questions, so I think I'm going to call the stream there, guys. Thank you very much for joining, as always. I do really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who's followed, liked, subscribed, all that kind of stuff. I've had quite a few gift subs today as well from Reflexaman and J-Shuff, so thank you guys for doing that. A couple of 165 drop bits as well, so thanks very much for those as well. Yeah, I'm going to go take some more nice pictures of this, get them up on Instagram in the next couple of days. And as I say, if anyone wants to come say hi at the meetup next weekend, please do. I'm very approachable, very open, very happy to talk, very happy to show you my boards, very happy to come and look at your boards, more importantly, as well. So I'll speak to you all later. Thanks very much, guys. And if you've got any questions, do reach out and say hello. See you later, guys.